The ladies' restrooms are to the right of the venue. The gentlemen's restroom are to the left of the venue. Each table has a waiter assigned, so you're welcome to place your drinks with your waiter or waitress. It is an open bar, so I'm sure you must be excited about that one. And it will be a lovely plated dinner, ladies and gentlemen, so do enjoy. Distinguished guests, could I kindly ask you to please stand so that we observe a moment of silent devotion or meditation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may take your seat.
Let's get up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Progress, we are waiting for you.
That's
Come on.
What I'm appreciating. This is
Come
not
on, let's
a
get up.
event.
Hi,
It is
hello,
time
bro.
to celebrate.
Hey.
Hello, bro.
Lekker nee. Hey. Hey.
Hoe gaan het?
Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a lovely time tonight. Hey.
Hello, bros.
Dankie.
How are you doing? Good evening, bro.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening,
Let's get up and
bro.
celebrate the Northwest University.
It's a
Awie.
celebration.
Dancing.
Please do enjoy.
Hey.
Hello, bro.
Gonna burn. Hey, Mr. Nati. Hey.
Hello, John. We are celebrating, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Hey. Hi. Hey. Hey. Yeah. Woo! Hey. 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 Woo! Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm still seeing a few people seated, and that does not make me happy at all.
We are
Hello,
still seeing a
bros.
few
That's
tables seated. Let's get ready
It's
to
20
celebrate. That's
years
right. 20
Of
years.
celebrations
Let's get up and
at the
celebrate.
NWU.
Hey.
Welcome. It's so lovely
Yes.
to see you all. Thank you for joining us this
Hey.
evening.
Hey.
We're so used to
Well,
formal
hey.
proceedings, but this evening it's all about celebrating, and that's exactly what we're hoping to do.
Hey. Hey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this beautiful occasion. The Northwest University is celebrating 20 years. My name is Angeline Marokwane. I am a communications specialist for the Northwest University, based at our Vanderbilt Park campus.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jason Bekes. I am a marketer at the Northwest University, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to tonight's 20th celebration of the Northwest University's existence. That's right. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 2 decades, the Northwest University has firmly established itself as one of the finest universities in South Africa and, of course, recognized on the global stage. A round of applause for that.
Absolutely, Angeline. The Northwest University has produced great leaders and thought leaders in industry and in the academic sphere. And I think all of us joined here tonight are part of those trailblazers.
Definitely, and some of them are in this room.
Absolutely, Angeline. I want to start this proceedings almost with a quote. And this quote reads, "The real function of universities is to play a central role in the development of society and to equip young people to be responsible leaders. The Northwest University has risen to these challenges and adopting a strategy of priorities from South Africa in terms of the skills needed." Now, this quote was in the inaugural speech of our very first Vice-Chancellor, with the merger from the Northwest University, Dr. Popo Molefe.
Thank you, Jason. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to draw your attention now to our beautiful regalia. So some of our guests may not be able to see it, but when you do get a chance, please do pop. We've got displays of our beautiful regalia over this side. And I'd like to take you through a journey in history of where the NWU comes from. So the first 3 gowns over here on the left are from the former Potchefstroom University for Higher Christian Education. The second 3 gowns over there with the paws, beautiful paws there, are from the former University of Northwest. And then the 2 gowns there underneath the TV screen, those are the first gowns of the NWU when the merger took place. And the 3 next to those 2, you'll see the 3 different colors. Those were the last 3 that was during the federal model of the university, with the 3 colors representing the 3 different campuses. And of course, lastly, our glorious gown that you see our principal and VC always donning at our beautiful occasions. This is who the Northwest University is now, ladies and gentlemen. This beautiful purple and turquoise brand of the NWU. A round of applause, please.
Thank you for that brilliant and swift walk through the history of our beautiful Northwest University. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our first speaker of the evening, who will come and do a welcome address so that all of us can feel more than welcome. And I want you to, after this welcome address, really kick off those shoes, sit back, relax, and let's celebrate the Northwest University. Ladies and gentlemen, I call upon Professor Daryl Balia. He is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Information Technology and Potchefstroom Campus Operations. Can we have a round of applause, please? Thank you, Prof.
Goeienaand allemaal, good evening. Dumelang mo Masegong. Geachte voorzitter van die Raad van die Noordwes-Universiteit, meneer Bert Sodrager, professor Subanzi Bismarck-Chobeka, ons vice-kanselier en hoof van die NWU, lede van die Universiteitsraad, Meneer Neil Makgaga, Acting Chief Director, Department of Higher Education and Training, executive and senior members of management, executive mayors from My King, JB Marks and M. Fuleni, former chairpersons and deputy chairpersons of council, recipients of honorary degrees, members of Convocation and the board of directors, recipients of alumni awards, student council leaders past and present, media, ladies and gentlemen, or whoever you consider yourselves to be, welcome to this prestigious occasion. Hartelijk welkom by hierdie prestige geleentheid om die 20ste bestaanjaar van ons geliefde Noordwes-universiteit te vier. Wat 'n heilige dag. It is with great pleasure and pride that we gather here today to commemorate 2 decades of academic excellence, research innovation, and community engagement at our esteemed institution. Die afgelope 20 jaar het die NWU 'n baken van kennis, 'n katalysator van verandering en 'n tuiste vir ontelbare suksesverhale wat die lewens van ons studente en die gemeenskappe wat ons dien gevorm het. Not all of you were associated with either the former Potchefstroom University for Christian Higher Education or the University of the Northwest at the time of the merger and incorporation, or even shortly thereafter, during the early years of the merger process. And those of you who were part of that process can think back. Those where you will remember difficult years, years of distrust, years where regular student unrest was the order of the day and staff were quite often dissatisfied and complaining. Well, let's say, van 2 heel verskillende universiteite, en as jy die wiste stuk inreken, is dit 3, het ons in 20 jaar gegroei tot een volwaardige, trotse Noordwes-universiteit met die ewige trotse, 3 ewe trotse campusse, met 'n handelsmerk wat meer en meer herken en erken word en met 'n impak nasionaal en internasionaal wat al groter word. As we reflect on the milestones and the memories that have defined our journey, we are filled with gratitude for all those who have contributed to our success. Our dedicated academic staff members, passionate students, support staff, visionary leaders, and loyal alumni. Each one of you has played a vital role in shaping the legacy of our university and making it the esteemed institution that it is today. Without going into too much detail, let me just ask, what do I think a few of the success factors were that can be highlighted? These were as follows in my view: good governance and effective management, eenheid en diversiteit, die wesenlike van die bestuursmodel aan die beginjare, stability and steady growth in the core business, ordelike transformatie, innovative things we did over the past 20 years, and I can go on. And many individuals here, as I've said earlier, should take credit for these and many other achievements. Vanjaar terwyl ons hierdie betekenisvolle mylpaal vier, Laat ons nie net terugkyk op ons verlede en prestasies nie, maar ook vooruitkyk na die toekoms met optimisme, ambitie en heriede terwijling tot succes en uitnemendheid. Let me conclude with these words. We strive for greatness to push the boundaries of knowledge and to inspire the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and innovators. Namens die Noordwes-universiteit verwelkom ek elkeen van julle hartlik by hierdie spesiale geleentheid. Laat ons saamkom om ons gesamentlike geskiedenis, ons gesamentlike prestasies en die onbeperkte potentiaal wat voorlê te vier. On behalf of the university, I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you to this very special occasion. Let us come together to celebrate our shared history, our collective achievements, and the bright future that lies ahead. Here's to 20 years of academic excellence, community spirit, and endless possibilities. Thank you for being a part of our university's journey. Cheers to the next 20 years and beyond. Thank you to the Northwest University. Go well. Mooi loop. Samaya Sentle. Thank you.
Baie dankie, Prof Balia. Ek dink almal is nou baie opgewonde na jou toespraak. Asseblief applaus vir Prof Balia. 'n Groot applaus. Over to you, Jason.
Thank you so much, Angeline. Prof Balia, thank you. I think every one of us should feel welcome by now, Angeline.
Yes. But I heard Prof Jobeka give out a huge chuckle. I don't know if that was meant for you, Prof Daryl. I'm not sure. But I kind of think it was directed in your direction. But you did well. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Angeline. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have this event streaming live on our YouTube and other social media platforms. And we want to take this opportunity to welcome those who has joined us virtually. Angeline and our guests tonight, if by any chance you feel the need to say something, let it be something on digital media. And when you do so, remember that we are celebrating 20 years of greatness. And so our official hashtag for the 20th existence of the Northwest University is hashtag 20 years of greatness.
Absolutely. You can, of course, follow us on all our social media handles, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and of course, Instagram. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to kindly please rise while we sing the University Anthem.
Waar die wilgers welig spruit, doringbom sy skadu sprei, soos ons groei in kundigheid, mag U ons lei. Sien ons hoe hier lei met U hand, laat U sien rus oor ons land. Three strong streams united flow, Africa stands proud and tall. As we learn, we trust, we know God is in control. Bless us, O Lord, guide us with grace. May Northwest be blessed always. Bless us, O Lord, sien ons lief. Ore Jehovah Tsebolena, sien ons, bless us, O Lord.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So something interesting about our university anthem and the colleagues who shares an office with me, we have a tradition that we, every morning before we start working, we all listen to the university anthem, Angie. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly welcome you to take a look at our brand video that will be played on the two big screens in front right now. Thank you so much.
Can you feel it? The electric hum in the air as all your aspirations arrive, as you take that momentous step onto the stage. Listen. Listen closely. Can you hear the soft rustle of excellence in the lecture halls, where discussions ignite the passion for knowledge? Close your eyes. Can you see it? The beauty of our university and the heartbeat of our community. And there, on the horizon, the applause at your graduation. A thunderous celebration of your perseverance and triumph. The start of a new chapter. After all the late-night studies and the forging of lifelong connections, your future is a story yet to be written. And the applause is only the beginning. At Northwest University, greatness without boundaries.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't it just give you goosebumps, absolute goosebumps, as you see the wonderful faces that has made their way through the Northwest University. Ladies and gentlemen, over to our congratulatory messages for this evening. And I'd like to call the following people. They'll be giving a congratulatory message and they'll be coming one after the other. On behalf of the former SRCs, it will be Mr. Tutu Khobane, SRC President, 2014-2015. On behalf of students, Mr. Yikumba Andreas, SRC President. On behalf of staff, we'll have Prof Kotze, who'll be doing that speech. He's the Executive Dean, Faculty of Health Sciences. And on behalf of Convocation, we have Adv Marlize Kruger.
And then on behalf of the council, we will have Mr. Mandla Thabethe. And then we'll also watch a congratulatory video message from our current Chancellor, Dr. Anna Mokgokong. And from the Department of Higher Education and Training, we will have a congratulatory message video from Dr. Blade Nzimande. Thank you.
Could we kindly have our first speaker come to the podium, Mr. Tutu Gabane? A round of applause.
Good evening, distinguished guests, the NWU Vice-Chancellor, Prof Daryl, chairperson of the NWU University Council, Mr. Bert, and all protocol observed. There is a saying, to lead is to serve, nothing more, nothing less. I stand here on behalf of the many excellent former NWU SRC presidents and student leadership of the past 20 years of Northwest University. From the time of the merger started under the first NWU Vice-Chancellor, Dr. T.N.C. Ilov, who stated, I quote back then, open quote, a merger is a journey, not an event, close quote. And definitely, what a journey it has been. As a former NWU SRC president, we were indeed part of the foundation of shaping not only the academic side, but the current student life we have come across on all three campuses. Yes, as we reflect on the past 20 years, we had disagreements amongst each other. And sometimes we indeed challenged the NWU management and Northwest University Council. But the ultimate goal, we wanted equal opportunities and unity in diversity across our three campuses. I quote the second NWU Vice-Chancellor, the late Prof Daryl, when he was interviewed on the NWU-ish magazine, Volume 8, February 2014. I quote him saying, open quote, I look forward to strengthening the unity amongst the three campuses and encourage more cooperation and create a unified brand, close quote. What we have observed as former leaders is that indeed the university is constantly striving for that, for unity and one brand, such as the purple brand across all three campuses. Let's give that a round of applause. We are who we are at different roles of the sector of public, private, or entrepreneurship because of the excellent academic teaching and the leadership skills we attained during serving our students at the Northwest University. Some are still plowing back to the institution in the different roles, whether it is internally or externally serving on university structures. To the current NWU Vice-Chancellor, Prof Thabethe, I quote your speech you said during your inauguration, when you said, open quote, you strive for equality of resource and provision across all three campuses, close quote. And we have no doubt with the new adopted strategy that the NWU will reach greatness beyond boundaries. We therefore take this moment to congratulate the Northwest University Council, the Northwest University management, the staff, the current SRC, the students, and the NWU alumni who walked the NWU corridors for the past 20 years and beyond on a happy 20 years anniversary. And just like the university anthem says, bless us, O Lord. May the Northwest University be blessed always. Baie dankie, ke a leboga. Thank you.
To the Department of Higher Education in absentia, Dr. Blade Nzimande, our comrade who we usually mostly disagree with. The Northwest University's Chancellor, Dr. Anna, in absentia. The Chairperson of Council, Mr. Bert Sordrager. The Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the institution, Prof Nzimande, Bismarck, Chobeka. Fellow council members, members of the university management committees, executive deans and deputy deans, executive members of the Convocation, fellow student representative council members and student campus council members, alumni, all protocol observed. There's a young man seated in this building. He has this famous greeting that he has. He's the former deputy president of the SRC, Comrade Mujalifa. The greeting says, "I would like to greet you all from the Northwest University part of my heart." It is indeed with immense honor to stand here before you to deliver a congratulatory message on behalf of the esteemed student leadership structure, the prestigious NWU. Over the past 20 years within South Africa, and also on the global stage, the NWU has managed to deliver nothing but exceptional. Our university continues to produce individuals not only who enrich student life in all experiences, but have a global influence and on the frontiers of what happens on the international stage. The student leadership cohort, we deeply resonate with the ethos of the institution, which says the ethic of care. And the main reason why we do that is because of it's most in late hours of the night that us as students have to assist the other students that are yet to be students, prospective students. So that's why this issue of ethic of care resonates so much with us. From a prospective student's journey at the NWU, it has come to be that the NWU is the first institution in Africa where students would prefer to do their engineering degrees. And I think that by itself deserves a round of applause. Additionally to our achievements in sports, I think it's also important to mention that the NWU won the Varsity Cup Rugby Champions League in 2016, and recently we are the current champions. Reaching of the semi-finals in the varsity sports football, that's our Mahikeng campus making us proud there. And also winning the USA's bodybuilding champions, and that's our Vanderbijl Park campus. It is important to realize that the NWU owes its existence to the student cohort. And in most of our disagreement, I think most of the time what we as the student leaders would like to say is that the NWU does not exist without the students. It's here because of the students and to serve the students as a microcosm of society. I think it is also important to know that the NWU has emerged as one of the most attractive universities in Africa, but also rated as the safest campus, not only in South Africa, but I think in Africa. I think I would have failed as a student leader if I leave without making any form of submissions / demands in any form of either, because I think what is important to realize is that the older you get at home when it's your birthday, the more responsibilities you take on. And I think it's important for the Northwest University Management Council, student leaders, to take this opportunity as an opportunity for growth, but also it means that it's also an opportunity for a lot of responsibilities, one of which should be that we as the SRC have thought and deemed it perfect that we should enforce the rate at which we are tackling period poverty to ensure that we have all those students in need assisted. And what we mean by this, VC, is that we want to see the institution where a female student who struggled to find a pet can easily go to a machine on campus and get one. Number 2 will be we aim to create a comprehensive and a decisive 1 meal a day program in order to provide for those who do not have. Number 3 will be to create a module that tackles all societal issues in South Africa that will involve gender, race, social orientation, diversity, gender-based violence, and this module should be compulsory to all students. Number 4 would be we've also proposed that there should be mandatory a language that should be learned by every single student that steps in to the Northwest University. And this language can learn from our very own Setswana, Sesotho, can also bring in isiZulu, equally so Afrikaans as well. But each student must have the right to choose what language it is that they learn. But you obviously can't come to university and study your own mother tongue. You need to choose something else that will make you a competitive individual in the job market. It will also be irresponsible of me to forget one of the most provocative things that the VC said at the biannual award, of which he indicates that usually when you live in a village, the prophets or the traditional healers gets worshipped by people that live outside of town. But the contrary to the NWU, the VC said that at the NWU, we will celebrate and appreciate our own prophets. And with that, VC, from the SRC side, we would like to extend a heartfelt appreciation for the contribution that you made recently of 1.3 million to assist certain students to register. And that goes for you, VC, as well as your whole management team. We call upon both student leaders, university management, to engage in fundraising initiatives throughout the whole year this year to ensure that those that were assisted now do not leave this institution with debt. And secondly, that we do have a preparatory stage for those that are to come next year. When somebody said it all starts here, they didn't make a mistake. Happy birthday to the Northwest University, and it all starts here. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The previous two speakers have welcomed all the special guests, and that's all of you, so I'm not going to do it. Goeienaand, dames en heren. It's really a privilege to say a word of thank you, congratulations on behalf of the Northwest University staff. In 1989, I was a young man, and the world looked very different from the one today. South Africa was on the brink of monumental changes, and the eyes of the world was on us. It was a time of fervent hope, but also one of uncertainty. What would the future hold? Would the miracle work? It was also my first year as an employee of a former Potchefstroom University for Christian Higher Education. And little did I know the journey that would await me. Little did I know how much my horizons would expand. As my career progressed, it was clear that higher education landscape in South Africa need major change, and in some cases a complete overhaul. Thus, when the merger occurred and the Northwest University was formed in 2004, my little island of Potchefstroom became the continent of a Northwest University. Immediately, we had to reach greater than ever before. Strangers in Vanderbijlpark and in Mafeking became colleagues, and these colleagues became friends and mentors. In the subsequent 20 years, I've seen so much change. We have transitioned from a federal to a unitary model. Just look at the growing impact of technology on our lives. I've seen the expansion of our infrastructure. I've seen us perform with astounding results on the global stage. I've seen us perform in establishing ourselves as leaders in so many fields, and we are continuing to expand our influence to make impactful contributions that will aid in promoting sustainability wherever and whenever it is needed. We have produced also leaders who are taking our country forward. Yes, we pride ourselves of being dynamic and progressive, but there have also been constants that have been equally responsible for shaping the Northwest University. Our dedication, our vibrancy, our resolve. How many students and personnel have come from destitute communities where they have known more despair than any person should? Through the Northwest University and their hard work, their lives have been irrevocably changed, and their success is a testament to the value of education and an institution that cares. There are too many such stories to count. Time would not allow me to mention even some. What has always struck me about the Northwest University is its commitment to bringing out the best in all its employees. When employees are empowered, an environment is created where innovation, dedication, and excellence thrive. It helps us to collaborate more effectively, and we can share insights and resources that enhance the Northwest University's reputation and performance. This in turn enriches our students' experience of a Northwest University by providing them with a diverse, challenging, and engaging learning environment, making them lifelong learners and thoughtful leaders. That is why we have stayed at the forefront of innovation. That is why we are loyal to the Northwest University. That is why we are celebrating 20 years as one of the country's leading universities and one of the top 10 in Africa. What an accomplishment. "55 years later, I sometimes wonder what that young man in 1989 would say if he saw us now. I think he would be in awe. He might even be in disbelief, because what we have created together, what we have accomplished through our willpower and a united effort, is nothing short of an exemplary achievement. On behalf of the Northwest University staff members, I want to say, as we celebrate 2 decades of greatness, I want to extend a heartfelt thank to you, to every individual who has played a pivotal role in our journey. Your unwavering commitment, innovative spirit, and relentless pursuit of knowledge have not only shaped this university, but has also set a foundation for success that will last for generations. We as staff are proud to be part of a Northwest University, and we are marching forward to create many more years of Northwest University excellence that will make a difference in our country and in the world. We as staff salute the Northwest University. Congratulations, and may it be a blessed future for you. Thank you.
Goeienaand, dames en heren. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dumelang bakgang. I'm going to follow Prof Awie's example and just say all protocol observed. So no special mention of any special people. We are all special that are here tonight. I have been requested to convey a message on behalf of the Convocation and alumni. But before I dive into my discourse, I would like to confirm my disclaimer. I have not used ChatGPT nor any other AI platforms to research or write down these few ideas. My excellent education at this wonderful institution enabled me to talk to real people, read real books, and use an old-fashioned instrument like a pen to write down my heartfelt felicitations. It is quite rare that siblings surpass the age of their parent institution in this instance. But the collective 248 years paved the way and contributed to the Northwest University's academic excellence and values that we know and love and support today. The Northwest University is not only a place of learning and academic freedom, but it creates an environment where students have the opportunity to develop valuable life skills. And when we exit at the gates, or the gates, we enter a new world as well-developed individuals that are able to participate in all aspects of what society has on offer and expects from us. And that is part of the thread that links us, the Convocation and the alumni, staff members, everybody in this environment, to the Northwest University, and that contributes to our ethos of caring for the Northwest University. Richard Bach, one of my favorite writers, he wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, but my other favorite is Illusions, the story of a reluctant messiah, if ever you get your hands on that book. He wrote that the bond that links your true family is not one of blood, but of respect and joy in each other's life. Rarely do members of one family grow up under the same roof. In this spirit, we congratulate the Northwest University on 20 years of excellence, of evolving, of growing, of moving into the future. May the next 20 years, and many more thereafter, always pave the way for an excellent academic education, but more than that, create an environment to which we want to be, to which we want to belong, with which we want to be associated, and which fires our enthusiasm as alumni and Convocation members to return and contribute. And if we have kids, send those on as well. May we keep this family for future generations to come. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, baie geluk. Wanneer ons weer almal 'n glas in die hand het, mag ons asseblief 'n heildronk drink op die Noordwes-universiteit. Wat 'n wonderlike voorreg om deel hiervan te kan wees. Dankie.
Thank you so much, Advocate Kruger. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick announcement. We have a vehicle with its lights on. It's a white Corolla Quest, registration number LB67PDGP. A white Corolla Quest, registration LB67PDGP. You have your lights on.
Right. Unlike Advocate Kruger, if I sound like a robot when I'm talking, you must blame ChatGPT. program directors, Ms. Angeline Marokane and Mr. Jason Buke, the acting chief director, teaching, learning and research and development, Mr. Neil Makanga, chairperson of council, Mr. Bert Soldracher, fellow council members, past and present, past chairperson of council, Adv Johan Kruger, the Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Jobeka, and all members of UMC, members of Senate and Institutional Forum, the Northwest University staff members, student leaders and students present today, business representatives, NWU alumni and NWU donors, traditional leaders and leaders of faith-based organizations, as well as representatives from all three spheres of government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is indeed an honor and privilege to deliver this brief congratulatory message on behalf of Council. The NWU Council pays tribute to all those who play a critical role in the establishment of this world-class institution. We are indeed internally grateful to all council members, past and present, previous chancellors, as well as the current chancellor, Dr. Anna Mokgokong, as well as all previous vice-chancellors, Dr. Elo, as well as the late Professor Khwadi. All of them served this university with distinction. But tonight is about celebrating our 20th birthday with you, the people who have chosen to be part of this special occasion tonight. While we are blessed to have so many friends of this university with us tonight, as council, we want to recognize the people who are the heartbeat of this institution. That is the university management, all staff members, student leaders, and all students. There are no words to express our gratitude than to say, Re a leboga, dankie, siyabonga, roliwa, thank you. As we celebrate this milestone, we are also grateful for the friends of this university, our alumni, donors, and business communities, and all stakeholders who continue to open their hearts and purses to contribute towards the upliftment of this university. We ask you to continue opening your purses. Those who have been here since inception, like Professor Combrick, will remember that the journey was not easy. There were times where even a hyphen between North and West needed a task team to be appointed. As we celebrate tonight, we must take a moment to remember Thabang Goodwin Makuong, who lost his life in pursuit of education in this institution. The transformation journey has not been easy, but we soldier on. Our responsibility towards the legacy of this glorious university and to our future students is too great to rest on our laurels. But for tonight, we stand here 20 years old and mighty proud. Tomorrow we work in unison towards our vision of discovering new frontiers and opportunities that will benefit the society and thus advance our relevance and impact. Thank you for being part of our past, present. Consider tonight to be your official invitation to be part of the future as we work together to fulfill our mission, which is to benefit society, through the provision of knowledge, excelling in innovative teaching, cutting-edge research, and intentional engagement with community. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us take an opportunity to watch a video of our current Chancellor, Dr. Anna, as she congratulates the Northwest University on its 20 years of existence. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the University Council and management, staff, students, and alumni. On this grand and very special occasion, I want to congratulate all who, through their achievements, has contributed to guiding us to where we are today. For 20 years, we have written the story of the Northwest University together. And although time may be fleeting, the legacy of the Northwest University will be timeless. It is with that in mind that I want to look back. Many centuries ago, cartographers would mark unexplored territories on maps. Where there was perceived to be danger, with a warning that read, "Here be dragons." 20 years ago, the Northwest University embarked on a journey where so much uncharted lands lay await. Together, we needed to navigate a new course, build the roads to our destination, and use our resources to get there. We had to merge cultures, we had to merge expectations, we had to merge expertise. What we had at our disposal was adaptability, meaning we could ensure progress despite unforeseen challenges. We had perseverance. We never wavered in the face of an obstacle, as we had too much tenacity for that. We were curious. We kept questioning. We were open to new ideas and different approaches. We also had the discipline to maintain our focus, and we kept working towards our objectives. What was the result? We flourished. We succeeded in cementing the Northwest University as an institution of academic excellence, with superior teaching and learning outcomes, world-class research, and a commitment to sustainable, impactful community engagement. We have established a culture of care characterized by inclusivity and a strive towards equality in all aspects of many endeavors. For me personally, it is a privilege to serve as Chancellor of the Northwest University. I've been blessed to have a career filled with highlights, but I regard my position as Chancellor among the most joyous and memorable. I have been witness to growth. I've seen the unearthing of opportunities, and I share the Northwest University's vision of a better, more prosperous future for all that call this country and this continent home. And now, when I look at the tertiary higher education map of South Africa, when I look at the Northwest University's global footprint, it gives me great pride to say, here be eagles. I thank you.
Move back and
Thank you so much to Dr. Anna in her absence, and rightfully so. Here we go, Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to use the hashtag 20 years of greatness. And I'm saying this because the digital manager just came to me and she said, please, I need to hear that 5 or 6 times more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to watch a congratulatory message from Dr. Blade Nzimande, the Minister of Higher Education, Technology and Science. Thank you so much.
Council, Mr. Berg Sordrager, Principal and Vice-Chancellor Professor Mzimande Bismarck Chobeka, members of the Northwest University Council, executive and senior management, executive mayors or representatives from Mahikeng, JB Max, and Mfuleni campuses, all representatives of constituent components of the universities, including staff, students, and alumni, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation to form part of this historic occasion, the 20th anniversary of the University of the Northwest. It was my wish to be there with you in person, but due to unforeseen official commitments, this is not possible. In the life of a university, 20 years may not be a very long time, but Northwest University is, of course, the accumulation of a much longer history rooted in the legacies of the pre-major institutions, which led to its eventual establishment. And like other merged universities established in the aftermath of the 2005 size and shape reforms, your university embodies both elements of our past and our new dispensation as a country. In this connection, your university carries within its DNA a rich part of our country's history, albeit a complex, dynamic, and contradictory history that should always serve as a reminder of where we come from and the kind of future we must all work towards. Over the past 20 years, there are a number of things that have come to define your character as a university. The first and perhaps the most daunting was the process of merging the various institutions that culminated in the University of the Northwest, all of whom were apartheid institutions. This process, by many accounts, was a challenging one, especially in respect of the social dynamics of integrating the Mafikeng campus and the initial campus and faculty structure adopted by the university. This task is far from being finished. I'm pleased that some of these challenges were tackled by the former and now sadly late Vice-Chancellor Professor Ten Khwadi, although more work needs to be done to transform the university to fully reflect our social realities and imperatives. The second thing that makes these 20 years worth celebrating is the manner in which you are able to enhance your expertise and performance in teaching, learning, research, despite and in the midst of significant, necessary social transformation challenges and tasks. This suggests even greater future potential for unleashing the full intellectual potential and growth of Northwest University to embrace its rich diversity. In 2004, we had approximately 73 National Research Foundation NRF-rated researchers. Today, we are impressed we have more than 280. This is a significant leap in your teaching and research capacity. The third is the fact that your university has also become a leader on the continent in responding to environmental, social, and governance issues. According to the latest sustainability ranking by the Kwakwareli-Simmons Agency, the University of Northwest is ranked amongst the top 8 out of 43 institutions on the continent. The fourth reason why we need to mark 20 years is that it provides an opportunity for honest, critical reflection on the balance sheet of social transformation at Northwest universities. To pose hard questions about your challenges in this regard, of areas of progress, of areas of regression, and of commitments you must make to ensure your university fully embraces the ideals of our Constitution and the principles and goals of the Higher Education Act. Put differently, is Mahikeng campus a full part and component of Northwest University, or does it stand as a separate former University of Bophuthatswana campus? These are honest questions that you must reflect upon in order to take the transformation effort in the next 20 years forward. The fifth and last point that I wish to make is that the 20 years horizon provide an opportunity also to reflect on the extent to which Northwest University has made a transformative impact on the social and economic landscape outside the borders of the university, especially the locality in which you are. The true value of a university lies not only the extent to which it serves the diverse needs of its internal publics, but also the impact it makes on its external environment. South Africa is facing deep-seated challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment, and it is expected that Northwest University must be actively engaged in programs, working alongside government, private sector, and social enterprise to create sustainable and equitable livelihoods. We have noticed a number of commendable areas in which the university is richly engaged with its local community environments, and I want to appeal for much greater involvement in the next 20 years and in the next decades. All these milestones I've mentioned and others I may not have mentioned would not have been possible without the previous executive leadership, staff, student, and worker leadership at this university. And it is my belief that a key part of this year's celebrations should include an acknowledgement of their role. The obligation that comes with such an acknowledgement is for the current executive leadership, staff, student, and worker leadership to understand that they too have an obligation to ensure that this university remains a place where all its members can feel they belong and that they can contribute to shaping its future. In conclusion, both my departments and I share in your joy and pride in reaching this milestone and have no doubt that you will continue to make sure that the University of the Northwest continues to be vital resources for our country and its people. Congratulations on your 20th anniversary, and may you enjoy the festivities. And I thank you.
As the Northwest University marks its 20th year, we stand at the crossroads of reflection and anticipation, recognizing our extraordinary achievements and looking forward with determination. Tonight, we unveil Journey, a song that embodies our collective spirit. It resonates with our ambition, weaving a narrative of growth, collaboration, and pioneering spirit. From humble beginnings to remarkable achievements, our journey knows no bounds. Fueled by ambition and guided by a shared vision, we transcend limitations, igniting flames of innovation. Our aspirations reach for the stars and beyond, propelled by unity and collective energy. As world takers and record breakers, we chart new territories, fueled by the spark of innovation. As change makers, we embrace challenge, committed to continuous growth. Together, let's continue writing our story with passion and purpose. Let's reach for the stars, knowing that the greatest achievements are yet to come. It truly does start here at the Northwest University.
We've been playing cool lately, a story that's unfolding like a symphony, and it's pretty plain to see. You and me've been making kinda history. A journey for the taking, dreams in the making, a fire that can go out. Cradle of ambition, echoes of a mission, that is what it's all about. A journey for the taking, dreams in the making, a fire that can go out. A fire that can go out. A fire that can go out. We can touch the trying to make it look easy. It's purple in our veins, it's only you and me. We the world takers, ocean record breakers, drum beat won't go out. Fire burning within, dancing to the rhythm, drum beat that won't stop. We the world takers, ocean record breakers, drum beat won't go out. A fire that can go out, a fire that can go out. We can touch the stars, yeah, like Jupiter and Mars, yeah. We can touch the stars, we can touch the stars, yeah, like Jupiter and Mars, yeah. This is where it starts. We're the change makers, keep going, not slowing down to the top. Reaching for greatness, moto kabato to the top. We're the change makers, keep going, not slowing down to the top. Reaching for greatness, moto kabato. We can touch the stars, yeah, like Jupiter and Mars, yeah. We can touch the stars, we can touch the stars, yeah, like Jupiter and Mars, yeah. This is where it starts.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are a privileged group of people. This was the first time that Journey has been played to an audience. Now, this song will officially be available on all streaming and download platforms very soon. So, Journey, the song, was written and composed by staff members, students, and alumni of the Northwest University. Now, Abigail, I'm sure that the build is going to see some flames with this song happening, and I cannot wait for each and every student to hear the magic of the Northwest University. Can we have another round of applause for Journey? And so after listening to that magical words in that song, we are about to be transported into a magical dimension. Our next speaker will deliver our keynote address, and I'm sure he is going to transport us to a world of magical words and share some of the great wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our keynote speaker for this evening, Adv Johan Kruger, the chairperson of the NWU Council for 2014 to 2018. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Dit was lekker. Die voetejuk, that was a great, great one. I appreciated it. And it is a great honor and a privilege to be here tonight in the capacity that was mentioned to the Principal and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Bismarck Thabethe, Chairperson of Council, Mr. Bert Sortagel, and all dignitaries and guests of honor that have been mentioned tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I am literally and figuratively an old hand in these parts, and pardon the pun. My wife Hester and I met in 1966 as first-year students in Potch. And you will be glad to hear that we got married in 1971. So I completed my undergraduate law studies as well as LLB and later also my LLD as a student of the PU for CHE. And I must add that there was also another very important exam that we had to write when we were first-year students at Potch. We were obliged to write that exam. It was called the Bros examen, the brochure exam. And it's composed of a brochure that was compiled by the SRC, a document compiled by them, and it contained the history of the university, starting from the year 1869 in Burgersdorp and proceeding to Potchefstroom early in the 20th century. One had to pass this exam in order to qualify to wear the official colors of the university, in particular the blazer, as from your second year. The whole process was an important factor to create a feeling of belonging, a bond between student and the university for the rest of our lives. That bond still exists between us and now, and when I say us, I mean my wife and myself, and now also between us and the Northwest University. Tonight, we are celebrating the official existence for 20 years of the Northwest University. I'm privileged to have been asked to say a few words in that regard. I say, and I quote, a few words, because the organizers of tonight's event informed me that my speech, and I quote, need not be long, some 10 minutes or so will suffice. All right, there you have it. So here we go with a 10-minute overview regarding the 20 years that this prestigious institution has been in existence. Hold your hats, fasten your seat belts. Here we go for those 10 minutes. You will allow me to give a brief overview of how it all started, how it all began. I think it's apt to reflect. And it has been referred to already tonight, but I think let me try and summarize what has been said. As we know, early in the 2000s, the government took a policy decision to transform the tertiary educational system. This was done with a view to, inter alia, address the imbalances of the past and to use resources more effectively to meet equity, quality, and the social imperatives pertaining to the new democratic system. Hence, it was a policy decision taking into account educational, financial, and political considerations. And for the sake of interest, as a lawyer, I was interested to go and see where this originated from. The Constitution allows for the government to do this kind of thing because a university is, in terms of the definition in the Constitution, an organ of state. But also, what is very important in the Constitution is also that the freedom of speech, the right to freedom of speech, is also included in the Bill of Rights, and that includes academic freedom and freedom of scientific research. So hence, in that way, in broad terms, the state could prescribe certain structural issues pertaining to universities as long as the very essence of the university being academic freedom was not curtailed thereby. So eventually, countrywide, 36 universities became 23 universities at that stage. And we already know that 3 of those were the University of Northwest in Mahikeng, formerly the University of Bophuthatswana, the Vaal Triangle campus of the PU for CHE, situated in Vanderbijl Park, Gauteng, and to which had been incorporated the Sebokeng campus of the Vista University and the PU for CHE in Potchefstroom. And one could imagine that some of the challenges facing the leaders of these various campuses were huge and even seemed insurmountable. Those included, of course, extremely important and basic concerns which go to the very essence of the existence of a university, that is, the academia. And also important issues regarding the organizational and political implications brought about by a merger. And then obviously there were more practical issues. For example, the matter of sheer distance. Potchefstroom and Mahikeng are situated 220 kilometers apart, and Vanderbijl is another 110 kilometers on the opposite side of Potch. And then there were issues such as the seat of the envisaged university, where would that be? Colors, the name of the new institution, the anthem, and how does one deal with more informal and even emotionally laden aspects, such as unwritten traditions, which had developed over many years and which to a greater or lesser extent are deemed to characterize a particular institution. The problems seemed endless. One of the sources which I've consulted makes mention of remarks made by Dr. Teens Elof, who eventually became the first chancellor of the new university regarding the envisaged merger. He remarked, that although the merger was not the first choice of either university, it was a legal and political fait accompli, that nothing will be gained by dragging feet, that any benefits to the merger might result in would be destroyed by a long period and prolonged uncertainty, also amongst staff and students. I therefore think it is apt to give recognition to the leaders of the respective campuses who, more than 20 years ago, initiated the talks and the consultations, and yes, the negotiations between these 3 campuses. They deserve our appreciation. Tonight, we also celebrate their perseverance, their insight, their tact, their negotiating skills, their wisdom. No doubt, it was a matter of putting the interest of the envisaged institution in the forefront, the ability to look beyond personal motives and ambitions. We have high appreciation and pay homage for what they achieved. Then the merger took effect on the 1st of January 2004. That, as we know, does not happen overnight. It does not happen over a week or a month or a year. It entails a process which calls for patience, for consultation with a wide variety of stakeholders, the convincing of the skeptical, the finding of solutions to ever new problems that evolve or present themselves. The magnitude of the task must have been daunting. The initial structure, as we know, could best be described as a decentralized or federal structure. Each of the campuses had at the top of the hierarchy a campus rector. Slowly but surely and step by step, a new loyalty to the new institution was forged as new structures of academic and administrative functions were put in place. Stability was achieved. the new brand was establishing itself in a remarkable way. And then a new phase took place. That happened when Dr. Elof handed the baton to Professor Dan Gwadi on the 1st of April 2014. That was when the next process ensued. Shortly thereafter, during May, I became member of the council, and since November 2014 was the chairperson of council. And I think it's apt tonight to pay homage to the memory of our late friend, colleague, and leader, Professor Dan Gwadi. It was an honor and a privilege to have worked with him. I miss his spontaneous laughter and greeting me loudly and enthusiastically as Meneer die Voorsitter. And then it was time to get to work. The two of us enjoyed an open, cordial, and sincere friendship and working relationship. Even when we held different opinions, we could find ways to seek compromise and take processes forward. I honor his memory. Professor Gwadi proposed and laid before council a rather radical reorganization pertaining to all facets of the NWU. It boiled down, and you also heard the minister recently referring to that, to a centralized system of academic and administrative governance and practice. To say that this proposal caused some upheaval and some fierce opposition from some stakeholders will be to put it mildly. From what one has heard from reliable and sometimes less reliable sources, one is aware of the fact that previous councils and management had also experienced tumultuous times. As I do not wish to rush in where angels fear to tread, I will refrain from making any remarks or raise opinions regarding such rumors. But as far as my term as member of the council is concerned, I can assure you that there were some most interesting and at times tumultuous journeys, and you have an eyewitness in me reporting to you tonight. As could be expected, the proposals put forward by Professor Gwadi and his management team raised eyebrows and gave rise to heated debate in council and also, of course, in Senate and faculty managements. In the same breath, I must add that during those stormy times and up to this day, I have the highest regard and appreciation for members of my council who, even during the most heated and robust of debates, very seldom, if ever, descended to a level of personal attacks, of playing the man or woman instead of debating the merits of the issues under discussion. It speaks to the quality of people who serve as members of the Council of the NWU. And may I add that on a personal level, interaction with members of Council on a formal and informal level was an experience that I found enriching, and the bonds of friendship evolving from such interaction will endure the test of time. Allow me to also refer to the support I received from the Registrar, Professor Marlene Verhoef, and her whole range of administrative staff. Such support was the propeller and the rudder that kept the ship sailing through sometimes stormy seas. Now, during those years, student unrest and protests arose on many campuses in South Africa, as you may and will be aware. And tonight, I think Tito, who spoke first here tonight, was on the SRC, I think, in 2015 when we had some robust times. He would know that. He was one of the guys who gave us some real headaches. Now, as I say, the NWU did not escape its share of the unrest. I want to refer to one specific incident for two reasons. First, to most of us, it was a new phenomenon. We had no experience in dealing with such situations. To me personally, it was a learning curve, which in the end turned out to be of great value, both as far as the handling of such situations are concerned, but more importantly, because it gave me insight in the problems that students were facing, insight which I previously lacked. Secondly, I gained new respect and appreciation for our students and the civilized and rational way in which they argued the merits of their case. Now, the background to the incident that I want to mention to you is briefly this. During a particular weekend early in 2015, Council was due to have an informal discussion, an imbizo or bosberaad, at the Indaba Hotel in Fourways in Johannesburg. Some of us arrived at the venue the previous day only to be informed that some students at the Potchefstroom campus were planning to come en masse to the Indaba Hotel the following day in order to launch a protest action and allegedly disrupt the imbizo. By the way, I think if I remember correctly, Professor Balia would have been the special guest and keynote speaker at that imbizo. So we, in haste and hurriedly, had to cancel the imbizo because, for reasons which are obvious, we could not allow a protest by our students to take place at a public place. It would probably cause great consternation and disruption amongst guests and hotel staff and be harmful to the reputation of the university. So we cancelled it. We put together a delegation of, I think, 5 or 6 council members, plus Professor Dan Kwadi and Professor Marlene Verhoef and some other staff, and sent a message to the students in Potchefstroom that we're coming over to Potchefstroom. We will meet in Potch the next day. So it happened. We went to Potchefstroom the next day instead of the imbizo, which has now been cancelled. And as could be expected, emotions amongst the students initially rang high. Their main complaint pertained to the language issue, although some secondary issues also came to the fore. The incident which I'm going to describe is not meant to be derogatory in any way. Given the situation, it was quite amusing, and I am telling what happened in a spirit of benevolence. Please accept it as that and in that spirit. Now, at one stage during this meeting when tensions were running high, the students attempted to stage a walkout out of protest. Tutu would know about that. But were stopped in their tracks by no less than our esteemed Deputy Chair of Council, Dr. J.G. Joe Chifalaru. And it happened in this way. The students immediately recognized the authoritative voice, tone of voice, coming from an ex-teacher and former Director of Education, informing them that such conduct was unacceptable and that they should sit down. Immediately, sit down. I couldn't believe my eyes and my ears. The students were dumbfounded, returned to their seats and sat down. And the meeting continued as if nothing had happened. And it turned out to be a very positive meeting in the end. So, as I say, I'm not telling this in a derogatory sense. I'm telling it for what can happen if the approaches to problems are positive approaches. As we say in litigation in court, that a good settlement can sometimes be better than a bad win. One can get a bad win, you wouldn't believe it. For example, when you win the case, but your opponent cannot pay your costs as ordered by the court. So, it demonstrates the advantages of compromise. As the discussions progressed in this particular meeting, with the students back in their seats, reason, rationality, and patience carried the day. A degree of mutual trust was established. The students eventually accepted that processes take time, and that still applies today. Processes take time. That their viewpoints will be conveyed to council, and that the channel for communication has been opened. This stands to their credit. For the sake of interest, I may mention that the then language issue has turned into a situation which serves as an example to other tertiary institutions, and which resulted in a policy to be proud of. Currently, there are several modes of multilingual instruction at the Northwest University, that is single medium, parallel medium, dual medium, and educational interpretation, all involving one or more of the 4 NWU official languages, namely English, Afrikaans, Sesotho, and Setswana. That was the upshot and the outcome of that particular day and what started during that meeting between students and the council. Then things took shape. Excuse me, it's a bad time to have a cold. The gist of the practical implementation of the theoretical structures which council decided on during my time in office came to fruition under the chairship of my successor, Dr., as he then was, Bismarck Thabethe, as chair of council. And when he was appointed as Vice-Chancellor in August 2022, Mr. Berg-Sortrager was elected chair of council. So this is where we stand today. A brief overview of what the situation today is has already been given by some of the speakers before me, particularly Prof Awie Kotze, I think, gave us a very good idea of the current situation. It is, of course, impossible and beyond my means to give even a broad overview of the highlights achieved by the NWU on all the various terrains, stretching between the academic to sport to individual achievements. Suffice it to say that the NWU can be proud of what had been achieved in the relatively short time span of 20 years. May I, by way of illustration, only by way of illustration, refer to some examples. Total growth regarding students enrolled in 24 was 40,145. 2021, 53,469. That's a total growth of 33%. Regarding undergraduate pass rate, 2004, 78%, 2021, 89%, total growth, 14%. Qualifications awarded, 2004, 9,500. 2021, 14,500. Total growth, 49%. And then PhDs awarded. 2004, there were 87 PhDs awarded. 2021, 264 PhDs, a total growth of more than 200%. So that's remarkable. I mean, those are only a few examples. And I think that's remarkable. I could go on, but I think my 10 minutes that I've been allocated have long elapsed. And I must conclude. So let's conclude by asking ourselves the question: have the reasons for and the objectives with the merger 20 years ago been achieved? I think the facts speak for themselves. The answer is a resounding yes. The NWU shows a definite positive and progressive growth, and that includes spreading its wings over the globe and strengthening international relations with institutions worldwide. We've noticed, Prof Bismarck, that you've been there recently. If I remember correctly, it was Uganda and somewhere in the Caribbean. Very important. The aim was to create, initially, a university whose staff and students demographically looked different from apartheid institutions. Also, it had to open up more opportunities through a range of qualifications and improve its research output and be managed and governed better. It has been said, and rightfully so, that the merger of the NWU, of the UNW and the PU for CHE is the most, if not the only, successful merger of universities that occurred in the early 2000s. Of course, the usual flurries of so-called or purported problems, which may materialize in various shapes and forms and which are typical to institutions of higher learning, will still occur from time to time. But as a general proposition, we can say that the ship is stable, the course is set, and the captain and his crew are firmly in control. Yes, we have full confidence in the leadership of our esteemed Vice-Chancellor, Professor Bismarck Thabethe, of Council, and of all leaders in the various fields and disciplines, and importantly, including the students, student leaders. They are, after all, the leaders of the future in our beloved country. The ship, we say, is on course. As I stand here tonight, some 58 odd years after I first set foot on the soil of Potchefstroom as a first-year student, I'm still the same person, the loyal first-year student, but with an important difference. I now regard myself as a loyal supporter of the NWU. I now rejoice loudly when I sit in front of my TV set and see the NWU Eagles thrash Wits University 55-22. Mr. Chairperson, Mr. VC, let me say I've come a long way. I've been witness to many occurrences. I've followed with interest what was going on. And tonight I can say that I'm proud to say that the NWU, the Northwest University, is now my alma mater. I thank you.
Beautiful indeed. Thank you so much, Advocate Kruger. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you must be famished by now. We've got a delicious dinner coming up. So we have roasted, deboned leg of lamb, carved, and that is served with a port reduction. Now, all of those who love MasterChef absolutely knows what a port reduction means. I've got no idea. With a delicious port reduction. And for the substitute for the red meat, you'll tuck into grilled kinklip and caper lemon butter sauce, and that is served with harissa cream, couscous, rainbow carrots, and asparagus.
That sounds absolutely delicious. And for our vegan guests, we have pulses and pumpkin curry served with coconut, couscous. And then we'll go over to some sweet treats where we will feast on a trio of desserts, including berry macaroons, white chocolate, yogurt, and passion fruit mini pavlovas. Angeline, I hope that our guests are ready to indulge in the greatness of food.
I'm sure they are, Jason. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your lovely plated dinners. I'm sure your waiters would have taken your orders by now, but please enjoy, socialize, and have a great time. Gentlemen, are you ready with my image? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to draw your attention to the screens, please. Kindly have a look at our screens. This is Prof Chobeka at our Alumni Awards in 2013, dressed so regal in a purple shirt. Now, this was even long before we chose the color purple. So this shows you it was written in the stars and we were destined for greatness. Prof Chobeka saw it long before we even saw it. A round of applause, please. This was in 2013 at our first Alumni Awards. So yes, Prof Chobeka saw that one coming. Without wasting any time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call forward our Principal and Vice-Chancellor, Prof Nzimande Bismarck Chobeka, to deliver his address. A warm applause. Thank you, Prof.
Need water?
Thank you very much, Angeline. I always say she must remind me when it's bonus time so that I can motivate for more bonus for her. For one simple reason, she pronounces my Xhosa name so beautifully. So, for that, Mr. Monoko, you must consider quite strongly that she must get what is due to people that does that. Chairperson of Council, Mr. Berthold Rachel, and members of Council that are present here today, our executive and senior management of the university, Senate members, former chairpersons of council, Advocate Kruger and Mr. Piet van der Walt, members of the institutional forum and its leadership, members of the Convocation, our former SRC President and current President, Mr. Yikumba Andreas, members of the Board of Donors, officials and representatives of all spheres of government, notably our executive mayors that are present today, Northwest University staff, colleagues, partners and friends, esteemed guests, good evening. It is always a difficult task to speak after so many eloquent speakers have spoken. It is even more a daunting task when you speak after so many people have had a number of good glasses of wine because they won't listen to you. So I do not plan to bore you with a long speech, but a lot of good things have been said about what the university have done over the past 20 years. But before I reflect on what we want to do for the next 20 years, I also would like to reflect on what the minister have said on a journey that is well traveled. The minister acknowledges very well that we are a university amongst all the universities that merged. We are undoubtedly one of the best performing universities. If you take our colleagues at Walter Sisulu, if you take our colleagues at TUT, if you take
Who else? Maybe let's use those two examples. And you go to the rankings. If you believe in the rankings, then you realize that our forebearers laid a solid foundation for a well-functioning university, and we owe a depth of gratitude to them. It is true that challenges abound, and we have to rise to the challenges. But it must also be emphasized that we have done quite a bit in transformation, and therefore it is important that we put certain things in perspective, in particular the question posed by the minister. He asked a question, and he said we must ask ourselves that question. Is Mafeking campus part of the Northwest University? Or is it just a standalone, separate former University of Botswana? And I think we need to emphatically respond to that question. Because if we don't, we leave a wrong impression to our esteemed guests and whoever is joining us online. By way of illustration, just last year, we completed the biggest project in the history, 20 years history of this university. The biggest project, 460 million worth, 1,728 beds, student residences in the Mahikeng campus. Now that alone should put to bed any doubt that Mahikeng campus is firmly part of this university. We can go on to say that Mahikeng campus over the years has had a very successful animal health program. That is one of the highly funded in the country. That has a big outreach that the minister mentioned. The minister said, are we reaching out to the communities in the vicinity and the localities where we exist? Yes, we do, Minister. By way of illustration, our farmers in the Mahikeng area use our animal health hospital for free. They bring their sick animals daily at our animal health hospital. We have mobile clinics that goes around the communities in the whole area of Ngakamodire Mulema, Itsobotla, Ramotsiri Muilwa region. So, we are indeed a university, one university that exists in 3 campuses, and we strive to ensure that equity of provision, as espoused by our predecessors, Dr. Tiens Elof and the late Professor Kwadi, is a reality. So for that, for the foundation they have laid, I think it was Winston Churchill who once famously said, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. That is what we would like to say to all of you that have dedicated your wisdom, your commitment, and your resources to the success of this university. Our vision beyond the 20 years is to explore new frontiers and opportunities for societal benefit, advancing our relevance and impact. Our mission focuses on benefiting society through knowledge provision, innovative teaching, cutting-edge research, and community engagement. Now, Council approved a new strategy that is going to ensure that we implement this vision in November last year. And this strategy prioritizes a number of things. First, impact. We have to be seen to be impacting society through innovative approaches and programs. The second priority is growth. Advocate Kruger has illustrated by way of figures our growth trajectory, but we still want to expand our trajectory and footprint in scope, quality, reach, and relevance, with a focus in particular on postgraduate education. Diversity, definitely we have to go an extra mile to be a diverse, inclusive, and welcoming university. Partnerships. We continue to build solid partnerships across the board, and testimony to that is the guests that we have here. We have captains of industry amongst ourselves, CEOs of SOEs, CEOs of different entities and businesses in the province and beyond. Internationalization is one of the priorities. We want to enhance our global profile through international partnerships. We cannot be the university that competes nationally only. We need to measure and test ourselves against international counterparts. Above all, we want to prioritize operational excellence. The keynote speaker today also gave a chronicle of how we've come from a federal system, and we centralized and we decentralized. Now we've reached a new phase in our maturity as the institution. And we need to take stock of our current structures and say, are they serving us to reaching out to the dreams that we're setting ourselves? Therefore, we are going to go again, as we speak, there's a process to review our operating model to see if we still need to have a completely centralized system, or we need to relax the centralization in some of the facets of the university. Chairperson of Council, we also need to give today the update on key projects that characterizes the new journey of the Northwest University. The first project is the one of positioning of our Northwest University Business School. We've just approved the strategic plan for the business school, which is entitled Forging a Path to Excellence. This was approved last year in November, and it is aimed at positioning the school to continue to provide training to some of our remarkable leaders in various industries, both locally and internationally. In particular, the business school has adopted its Africanization strategy. We realize that there is a need for developing African leaders in business. And therefore, we have earmarked a number of African countries for penetration through our business school. Secondly, we want to increase the capacity of municipal and provincial government. True to the statement that the minister made, what impact are we making to immediate societies? We have worked with the Northwest Provincial Government in a program to place 100 graduates within 22 Northwest municipalities, informed by the province's skills audit. We have an MOU with the public sector. The PSETA has committed to assisting 60 students with 24 months internships, placements, and to offer 60 postgraduate bursaries to our postgraduate students this year. Thirdly, postgraduate and missing middle. Chairperson, I need not overemphasize the need for us to focus our efforts towards developing our skills as a country. And we can only do that if we increase our investment in research. It is very well known that South Africa is still below what it ought to put in as far as postgraduate production is concerned, thereby affecting our national research outputs. So we are going to put more money towards our own postgraduate students. Plus, of course, we appreciate the Minister and the NSFAS new postgraduate loan scheme. We believe with those efforts, we are going to surpass our targets for postgraduate training. We also need to give you feedback on the establishment of the Northwest University Enterprises. We are hoping to launch this entity in July this year, and we believe that through this entity, we'll be able to increase our income streams and contribute towards a sustainable financial health of the university. Next is our big dream project of establishing the School of Mines and Mining Engineering. We've had a number of successful multi-stakeholder engagement to solidify plans for the establishment of this school. The Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy and his department have endorsed this important project, and we are planning to host our own mining indaba on the 6th of April. Am I correct, Dr. Matuku? 3rd of April, where we will be talking to the captains of industry in the mining sphere. Dr. Mulifi Mutuku is here, who is the CEO of Mintech, a very important stakeholder in this endeavor. Must also acknowledge the presence of the leadership of the Royal Bafokeng Institute, led by the CEO here also. They are firmly behind this endeavor, and therefore we believe that soon we will have this mining school launched and established in Rustenburg. The medical school project, Chairperson, is one of our flagship projects that we are very proud of. Just two days ago, myself and the chairperson and chairperson of council and some of the members of senior management visited the Klerksdorp Tsepong Hospital in Klerksdorp in Matlosana. That is where the medical school clinical training platform will be based. We were very impressed with the investment of the provincial government on the infrastructure that befits what we plan to unleash there as our medical school. We are equally proud to see, as we toured the hospital, a number of students with Northwest University badges, and those are our nursing students. That, Minister, is us making impact in our immediate locales, as you have requested. Internationalization. Since my appointment as Principal and Vice-Chancellor, we have been accelerating our efforts on internationalization and strategic projects. We have recently forged relations with some of the great institutions, such as the University of West Indies just recently, the University of Arizona in the United States, and as I speak, Mr. Tom in my office is busy working on us receiving the first exchange students in July this year from the University of Arizona. The University of Kigali in Rwanda is a very, very firm supporter of the Northwest University, and they see themselves working very closely with our business school so that we can assist Rwanda to produce, to train more executive managers in their country. The North Carolina State University in the United States, a leader in nuclear engineering, is one of our very, very important partners. So we continue to penetrate other continents. For example, we will soon be visiting with the Faculty of Health Sciences, Natural and Agricultural Sciences, the University of Khalifa University in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi. Now, this is one of the state-of-the-art universities, employing all kinds of advanced technologies in teaching and learning, cutting-edge research and innovation. They deemed it fit to allow us to get closer to them so that we can come up with meaningful partnerships, because they realize that, as our Afrikaner friends would say, ons is nie 'n vlindergat universiteit nie. In closing, Chairperson, I express my gratitude to our stakeholders and commend each of you for your contribution and ongoing dedication. May God continue to bless the Northwest University as we navigate the path towards another 20 years of greatness. This event is just the beginning of a series of celebrations throughout the year, and we will be rolling out a number of these events across our campuses, and we'll have the grand finale on the 1st of June at the Super Sports Stadium in Centurion, where we will take the battle to Gauteng so that they know that there is a university called the Northwest University. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof Chobeka. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our vote of thanks and our toast. I've seen the waiters make their rounds to the table. If you'd like a glass of bubbly, please raise your hand so that it can come through. We just want to take a short pause, Mr. Sorgdrager, and make sure that everyone has a glass of bubbly. Please do not vacate your seats, please, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like most of you are sorted with a glass of bubbly. Can I get a confirmation? Everyone happy with a glass of bubbly? All right. Mr. Sorgdrager, the stage is yours, sir. Mr. Bert Sorgdrager, Council Chairperson of the Northwest University. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly settle down. Thank you. A warm round of applause.
Goeienaand. So one is always, there's something to learn. And one of the previous speakers said, quote, revolutionary greetings. So the late Prof Dan always used to say, when the student leaders arrive and mention revolutionary greetings, they want something. So I also want something. Prof Annette, you must help me if my quote is not 100%, but in the classics, see, on the death of Caesar, the speaker said, Romans, countrymen and friends. Friends, Roman countrymen. So tonight I want to say stakeholders, alumni, friends, welcome here to an esteemed event. We're very glad to have you all here tonight to enjoy this evening with us. On the protocol front, I think I've already mentioned the revolutionary greetings, but Prof Bismarck and the leadership, I acknowledge you all. As you would pick up, and I think it's also important for me to acknowledge the big footsteps that I had to fill with previous chairpersons here, Advocate Kruger and Piet van der Walt, and Simon Mohape, who was a previous deputy chair. As you would pick up, I didn't become chairman because of my public speaking. And I often feel, and I think the chairpersons before me can attest, to become chairperson of the university is a calling. It is something that happens to you, and you must take up the challenge. And I often, in these circumstances, feel like Moses from the Bible, who said, you know, I can't speak well, just to avoid the job that was given to him. But so here I stand tonight. I might not speak well, but I've got a job to fulfill. And just before you get worried, you know, Moses then took them for 40 years to the desert. And that is not the plan. In fact, I think we're already in the promised land. And we want to acknowledge the leadership that in 20 years took us out of the desert into the promised land. And the promised land is awaiting us. And I'm so excited when I hear the VC with all the plans that he has for us. So, yeah, if one looks at the merger, and I think, Prof Bismarck, you have summarized well the phases. We went into the first phase, the merger, the unitary model, the federal model, then the unitary model. And I just wanted to say, now it's the super model, but at this time of the night it might be misinterpreted. But on that, you know, I think one of the greatest strengths of the merger, and there's some political undertones here tonight, is we merged the traditional a white university with a then traditional homeland university, and that is our greatest strength, because we did not have to go through whether you were either side of the spectrum to some kind of evolution. We just merged into a revolution. And that is our greatest strength. I always say, if we take the worst of the old pukke and the worst of the old Unibo, they close us tomorrow. But if we take the best from the old pukke and the best from the Unibo, that's why we're on our way to become number one. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving towards the end. I've got a good job to say, well, maybe just before I get there, Mr. Manoko, to you and your team, thank you very much. Great evening, waar is jy? Mr. Manoko, is he organizing something outside? But yes, thank you. I think your staff and events management is legendary. We look at the Varsity Cup and these things. Tonight is no exception. Of course, thanks for the team, but you know, maybe just on a lighter note, if this is how we're going to have a party when we're 20, just think next year when we turn 21. Then without much further ado, so I was asked to present a toast on the Northwest University and to say that we're going to say a cheers. So I would ask all of you to stand up. And so from one of the stakeholder groupings that I originate. We don't say cheers, we say cheers, cheers. So on 20 years of excellent performance, well done, lift your glasses, cheers, cheers. And thank you very much.
Jolly good fellow, and so say all of us.
We are jolly good fellows. We are jolly good fellows. And so say all of us. Hip hip.
Hip hip.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sorgdrager. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats. We have come to the end of our official programming this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, you can take your seats. We're almost there, thank you. We'd like to thank our NWU community and guests joining us via our live stream on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us for this auspicious occasion. Our journey with you has come to an end for this evening. Our live streaming will officially end. Please give them a big round of applause. They've given us tremendous support. They've been so wonderful all over our social medias, and we cannot thank them enough.
That's right, Angeline. I think the journey for the live stream has ended, but our journey together here is still a bit more to go on. Yes. And with this, we invite you to enjoy the entertainment that is about to follow. And I want to invite you to dance us into our 21st.
Yes.
That's
Ladies and gentlemen, our entertainment for this evening is a fine set of young gentlemen. They hail from Johannesburg and Pretoria. Now, I hear the young ones are absolutely raving mad about them. They call themselves, wait for this, the Jägermeister Brass Cartel.
That's right, Angeline. And I think the Jägermeister Brass Cartel comes with quite an extensive performance history.
They do,
right?
Jason. They've been almost all over Africa. Eswatini, Namibia, Lesotho, Mozambique,
Botswana, Germany,
Norway.
We can go on.
Exactly. They've got a great repertoire. So please, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Jägermeister Brass Cartel.